All right, this video is going to be basically a live coding. The last video I talked about better auth and I brought it into a TanStack start project. And what we're going to be doing in this video is trying to extend it a little bit. I want to bring in Drizzle and I want to hook it into Drizzle because right now I think I set up with SQLite. So I do have another project, which I keep going to Unity on accident. Let's go to this other project that's in TanStack start. I want to bring over a Docker Compose. So let's find the Docker Compose. I'm going to paste this into the project over here. I'll just rename a couple things. I'll just call this like better auth CSS. Okay. But I need to have a database running locally. We're going to be using Postgres. So this Docker Compose file, if you have Docker and Docker Compose installed, you can just say Docker Compose up in your project directory, and you'll see it's going to spin up a database, which then you should be able to connect to with Table Plus or whatever other favorite flavor of database interface you want to use. Okay, so the reason I'm doing this is because I want to bring in Drizzle. So I got to find Drizzle, and we're going to go ahead and just go to my package.json, probably install Drizzle kit. I should have some other stuff here like types PG, probably want to install that. And then also, is there like a Postgres? These db push, migrate, generate, studio, clear, seed, reset. Okay, let's just at least grab these and we'll put those in the startup scripts. And what else do we want to do? So the start script runs a db migrate. I think we should be good. We'll probably fix stuff as we run into it. But the first thing I want to do is I want to try bringing over my Drizzle config. So I think I have a whole db directory, which I can kind of just grab over. And you'll notice here in the source directory, I can plop down that DB. And we should see an index file, which will connect to Drizzle. I need to open up my .env. I do need to do an npm install to bring over whatever's missing, utils env. Again, this is how I like to, if you have like two VS Code instances open up to two different projects, Command tilde will help you switch between them. We've been doing this a lot at work where we had to check out like a completely separate branch to be able to look through code examples. Pretty good approach here. I'm going to bring over this whole .env file. We're going to go to source. I think I already have a utils. Again, this is just a live coding, so sorry if I'm going fast and not really explaining stuff. I just don't want to spend a bunch of time explaining stuff already. Let's just go ahead and get the database URL. We'll keep this as simple as possible for right now. I just want the database URL, and then I want this to depend on that. So let's make sure I import that. Drizzle ORM, like, am I missing that as a dependency? I guess I am. So let's go to the package.json. Let's go ahead and install this. And we're going to go and just rerun an npm install one more time because it looks like we are missing the Drizzle ORM. Better SQL 3. I don't really want this anymore, so I'm going to get rid of that. And hopefully this will finish installing. Okay, so now we have an index file which will connect to our database. We have a clear script that honestly I don't need right now. I'm going to get rid of that. We have a migrate script. This looks good. We do need a Drizzle folder, which I think it'll automatically create it. And then we have our schema. And then we have a seed script. Okay, all this stuff in the seed script can go away. Let's just go down here, do some of this. .env, do I have that installed? I don't think I have that installed. Let's go find the .env file. Where's .env? Don't I have it? Anyway, don't know why that's not showing up. But I guess let's go back to better auth and let's look at the ORM adapter because there's a way to set this thing up with Drizzle. So you can go over here and get a Drizzle adapter. So let's just go back to my app and we're going to go to the auth provider, which I think is in lib here. Yeah, let's import this one. For database, it looks like you can just do like this. Okay, this needs to be PG, I believe. And then for DB, I think we can just import it from database. The database file is right here where we make that database pull. And hopefully this is good. I do need to read the docs a little bit more to figure out how this works. So the better auth CLI allows you to generate or migrate your database schema based on your better auth configuration and plugins. To generate the schema required by better auth, you can run this stuff. I guess I'd be curious, where's the schema defined for the users table? Like, do they tell you how to do that? The Drizzle adapter expects the schema you define to match the table names. For example, if your Drizzle schema maps the user table to users, you need to manually pass the schema and map it to the user's table. Apply the migrations, generate the migrations file. One thing I don't like about Better Auth is I don't know why there's like this weird CLI that does migrations. Like, it's kind of interesting. I'm not a fan of it. Like, shouldn't they just provide me some Drizzle schema files that I can use for this? I'm not gonna lie, I'm so tired of starting new projects. Like, it's just like the same thing over and over again. Reading through these chaotic documentation that have 1,000 different ways you can set up a project. Trying to find what you're looking for. Even try using AI, and AI is confused doing it. But I guess we're just, maybe they have an example of doing it. Better Auth TanStack starter. This guy also has something. Let's click out both of these. I think I'd save a lot more time just trying to look through these. This one has a lot more stars. Is it using Drizzle though? It is. We have a Drizzle config here. Let's just grab this one. But I don't think I grabbed that. I'm going to make a Drizzle config. Drizzle config.ts. Paste that in. I think we should be good. Hopefully. Go back over here. And I just need to find the schema. So typically there's like a schema file that we can just go ahead and click on. All right. Export star from auth schema. Okay, where's auth schema? Okay, I'm just gonna grab this stuff. Hopefully it's already good. And the reason I'm doing that is I can just go to db schema. I should be able to paste this whole thing in here and get rid of all this extra stuff we don't really need. Let's paste this all in. Make sure we're importing the right stuff. Okay. Yeah, so keep our fingers crossed. Let's try running npm run db generate and see if it generates a migration script. No schema files found in the path database schema. So let's go to my Drizzle config, and I think this needs to be source db schema, and we should be good. Let's try it again. Okay, so it generated the migration scripts, which is good. These Better Auth migrations can go away. We got the migrations here. We got all the tables that we should hopefully be set up correctly with, I guess it depends on what version of Better Auth you're using here. So I should probably double check the package JSON and just find Better Auth. We're at 1.2.7. Let's go back to our project, and we're going to say Better Auth 1.2.12. So we're a little bit higher, but it should be fine. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and just apply this. I'll say db migrate. That should apply the migration scripts to our Postgres database, and this failed. Cannot find module. Better Auth TanStack app db migrate. So source, that's the issue. It's missing the source. Let's go back over here. I think I just need to go. Yeah, where's this coming from? Where is this failing? Let's see. So let's start fresh. I'm gonna go to the package and I'm gonna say db migrate. This is trying to run TSX over the wrong directory. So that's probably where I need to fix it. Let's try running it again. Cannot find package PG. So I don't think I imported that. So let's go ahead and grab PG over here. And we're gonna go and just put it in the dependencies, whatever. Need to rerun npm install. Migrate, still failing. Cannot find meta journal.json. Okay. Wonder why. It must just not be able to find the right directory. We have a migrations. Let's go back to migrate. I think this needs to be migrations and not Drizzle. Migrations. All right, the migration script ran fine. So like we're gonna look here. We got the users and stuff. I think it should be good now. Basically, I just pulled over all the Drizzle code I had from another project, and then I hooked it into Better Auth with some random tables I found online. Hopefully it's enough. But what we're going to do is try to connect in the app. So we're going to go here, and we are going to, what are we going to do? We're going to refresh this page. And of course, it's not working. So I don't know if I need like to just hard refresh the server, probably. Go here. Hard restarting stuff is like the final, like the catch-all. Like when stuff's not working, just restart everything, and then boom, it sometimes works. That's the state of software engineering. You know, you just have to restart stuff. Like, kind of sucks, but it is what it is. Let's see if we can log in. Let's sign in here, and it should hopefully work. It's not working. I got an error. So what we could do is try to figure out why is this thing failing. The model verification was not found in the schema object. Please pass the schema directly to the adapter options. So it looks like that project that I grabbed was missing a verification. So I wonder if this one has one. Okay, verification. What's going on with that? Did the other one I copied not have what I needed? User session account verifications. This is like the same code. That seems fine. And then also look at, it says verification. This code is verification. Oh, I'm going to grab this code. I think this is a different repo actually. And we're going to go ahead and just grab this whole thing. Let's try that. And then we are going to literally rerun our migration scripts. So we'll delete this stuff. Go back to journal. We'll delete this. And then I think I can go to my tables plus. I can just delete all these things. Okay. Of course you can't. I have to do them like one by one or something. So I'll just delete that one, this one, that one. Probably have to switch over to Drizzle and delete that too. Okay, let's try doing a generate now. So npm run db generate to generate the migration scripts. And we're going to run migrate. Apply them to the database. That seems like it works. So let's run the dev, run dev, restart our application. All right, let's go back here, refresh. Can we sign in now? It's working, great. Let's click on our name and we are now signed in. Go back to our app. Let's look at a normal public schema. We got a user here, we got a session, we got an account. No clue how brittle this will be, but I think it's a good starting point with using better auth in Drizzle and TanStack start. So what I'm going to do right now, is make yet another repo. Look at that, I got 108 repos. What's adding one more going to do, right? It's probably not going to hurt me. None of these are going to go anywhere anyway. So let's go ahead and make a TanStack better auth template. Make it public. Let's make it MIT as well. Let's make it public. Where's the public stuff? It's already public. All right, let's create the repository. And then we're going to go and we're going to grab this git URL, because in this repo, we're going to go ahead and do an git init. And then we're going to say git remote add origin. And I'm going to paste that. I'm going to say git. What else do we need to ignore here? We have this VS Code settings thing. Why is this even here? I guess we could keep that. We get the migration scripts. We should probably keep that. We got public directory. Is there anything else that we should kind of ignore? I think we should be good. So I'm going to go ahead and just add all this. Say initial commit. Go ahead and set the upstream. Yeah, I need to force this. Okay, we should be good. So now I can go back to the app, repo, refresh. There we go. All right, always remember to update your documentation. So like all this stuff is so irrelevant. I'm going to say setup, and then 1 will say npm install, and then 2 will be npm run db migrate. Actually, this will be number 3. 2 will be docker compose up. And then we have to run the migration scripts, and then we have to run our app. So npm run dev, and I think that should be good enough. Okay. So while we're here, we could try to do something really simple. Like let's just make like a to-do list application so you can kind of get familiar with TanStack start and how it kind of works. If you've even followed along this late in the video, which most people have not, but for those lucky 5 to 2% that are still sticking around in this video, we're going to see how to make another table in Drizzle. So we're going to copy this whole thing and we're going to say to do. We'll just call the table to do. And then what we want to do is probably give like an item. So title, description completed. That's probably a good starting point. Yeah, that should be kind of good. Let's just go ahead and say generate, and then we'll say migrate, and then that should apply the table. Go back here, refresh. We have a to do table now. Honestly, I'm not sure what the best practice is. Should these things be plural or should they be singular for your Postgres tables? I should probably ask ChatGPT, but we're not going to right now, so let's just move on. So we have a table that we can use in our actual code. Let's go to our routes, and then let's go to the main index here. And what is pathless route? I don't think we need that. Let's go to that. What we want to do on the main index is we want to do a full committed to-do list item, and that's all we're going to do today. So I'm just going to go ahead and put like a form. I'll do like an input, and then a button that says add to do. How about that? And then when you actually submit this, we're going to call a server function that's going to be called add to do. I like the suffix with fn. And then what do we need to do here? We definitely need to call it. And then I'll say like add to do mutation, just to alias that. We're going to invoke it. And then what we need to do is we get the text from the target. Let's just grab the form like this. I know I'm early explaining a bunch of code. I told you this is going to be a live coding session, so sorry if you're lost. But what we need to do here is actually we have to insert that to-do information into our database. So we can get that to-do table from the schema, import that database object. And why is this not actually working? Insert to-do dot values. Why is this not working? Oh, I need to provide an ID. Typically, when you make a database, like I think we should have had like an auto incrementing one. It's probably fine for right now. But let's see if this works. So basically, when you add it to do, it should save that title. So one thing you can do in TanStack Start is you can attach middleware to server functions. One thing I'm going to do is just copy one in to save some time. I think this should work. Basically, if I want to call an authenticated endpoint, I want to check to make sure that the user session is set. So I get the request, I check some headers, I get the session from the database. If it doesn't exist, I need to redirect the user. Otherwise, I can just go on to the next thing in the TanStack Start middleware. I don't know why this is red. I probably have a syntax error. Again, TanStack Start is updating often. So like I think I'm using some old code that maybe not work. It maybe doesn't work the way it used to. But anyway, what this allows me to do is I can call this middleware function now, and then I can say is authenticated, and then that should allow me to get rid of all this stuff. And it guarantees me that this thing should be set. Now, one thing I do want to pass in is a user ID, which I didn't even set on the schema. I should probably add a user ID there so that we can reference the user ID that's on this. Text user ID. I think this is the column name and this is the actual like what we use in our code. But I do need to do another generate and a migrate. So let me just undo some of that stuff. I'll do generate, migrate. Now we'll go over here and this needs a user ID now, which can come from the context. If you look at context, it should be defined. I don't know why it's not defined right now. Honestly, it's because this thing right here, I think it's the redirect that's causing issues. Null is not assignable to type function or what is this? If there is no request headers, return. Oh, I think it's this. I need to actually get rid of that. Okay, I think this might work okay. And now hopefully this will be happy. Okay, that's happy. Okay, so what I was trying to say is that now the context should have a user ID on it. And it should be defined because this wouldn't even get here if the middleware didn't run. So the reason I'm doing this is I want to make a little UI where like I could just go ahead and submit a to-do item. We are getting this error, buffer is not defined. I've typically seen this when you're like importing backend code into your client. I wonder if maybe it's because we're importing from this auth file. I'm actually going to go over here and say like middleware.ts and I'll paste this in. And hopefully that'll get us a little bit further. Okay, hopefully that's good. I can delete from here, which means I can go to my index file and we should be able to import it from the middleware. Did that fix our issue? It did. Okay, so definitely when you're using TanStack start, that is something that you need to keep in mind is sometimes when you import a package that really shouldn't be running in your route, you'll get a buffer error. Honestly, I don't know why I got that error. I thought TanStack start is supposed to be smart enough to like strip out code that it knows runs on the server versus the front end. I don't know, but let's try this now. I'm gonna go ahead and say like testing, click add to do. I'm gonna go to my database and then we're gonna go ahead and just refresh this. And we have a database entry, okay? And it has a user ID. Let's make sure that this thing does work if I sign out. Let's go over here, I'm gonna click sign out. I'm gonna try to add the to do. And it tried to redirect us back to the dashboard. I think this thing probably failed. If I click it again, let's see. Well, we are getting a 200 error back, so I think that might be kind of concerning. Let's see. It's not adding to the to. It's not adding to do. So I think we're good. Cool. I'm going to commit this. I think the whole point of this video was like I just wanted to force myself to progress on this template for better auth and TanStack start. All my other TanStack start stuff have been using Oslo and Arctic. I was kind of on the fence of whether I should even embrace better auth or not, but it seems like a lot of people like it, and you know how it is to make content. If you don't make the content with the latest, greatest stuff, people won't watch your stuff. So that's what I'm doing now. It's just the unfortunate reality of content creation. Honestly, I just wanted a reason to make a video. I'm completely out of content ideas. I'm just burned out on making content. Kind of feels like I'm doing the same thing every video. I don't feel like, I don't know. Let me just stop complaining. I'm trying to be positive. Let's just commit this code in case you guys are interested in checking it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and say add this stuff in, and then we're gonna go ahead and just say adding a to-do column and user-related tables. Let's change that to table. Go ahead and cement this, sync it up. That's so far as I want to take it. I think I've been coding for like 20-30 minutes in this video, so that's probably good enough for me. Maybe I'll come back and extend this a little bit more. But again, if you want to ever check out this code, you can find it in the description of this video. Other than that, leave me a comment if there's any content idea you think I should work on. Maybe I want to try to build out this a little bit more and get it deployed out for you all, kind of walk you through that process. And then I'll make a longer video to kind of do this from scratch, so you guys can all follow along. But the idea, hopefully, is I'm tired of like making stuff from scratch, like new projects and setting it all up over and over again. That's why I did the starter kit for Next.js, but I also want a starter kit for like TanStack start. So it's like a repo that I can start with. It has a database, it has auth, has everything you may need in it so that I can just like hit the ground running on my videos and my tutorials and just say, hey, like if you're not caught up to speed with my templates, go check out a template because I'm not going to tell you about all this stuff and how to set it up, right? I don't want to spend 30 minutes on every video telling people how to set up Drizzle, how to set up better auth. Like it's a pain. Okay. So I want to have a good starting point we can all kind of follow. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed this rambling video. We just want to do some live coding. Have a good day. Happy coding.